Hello, lovely divine femmes. It's Sunday. You know what that means. Okay, we are welcome if you're new to the channel, by the way. You'll get used to me. I'm a bit random. But I'm in one of those moods today, so I warn you now. But we are going to concentrate on those divine masculines who are in a karmic relationship at the moment. And we've been following the thread of this particular collective for a couple of months now. Excuse me. Thank you. And so we've seen all the ebbs and flows. So let's see what the energy is like today. So Spirit, please can you... Oh, thank you. I'm not taking that at the moment because we're not focused. Spirit, can we focus, please? Thank you. Please, can you give guidance for the divine feminines regarding the divine masculine and the karmic situation? Please, can you tell us the general energies of their relationship at the moment? So the general energies. Oops, we've got lots of dropping cards today. They want me to take the top one here. Okay, we have Beyond the Ordinary. I'll show you these cards in more detail in a moment. They want me to take the bottom one of these ones. A Merry Motive. Okay. Interesting. What else do we have, please, Spirit? What else do we have? A Deep Breath. And a Higher View. Okay. I do love these cards. Colette Baron Reed, I love your cards. Just thought I'd let you know. Anyway, right, I told you I was in a random mood today. So, Divine Femmes, what are we looking at in terms of the energy this week between the Divine Masculine and the Karmic? So... yeah, we have Beyond the Ordinary. So I think something new is happening here. I think, you know, we've seen, like I said, we've seen the ebbs and we've seen the flows. We've seen the flows, you know what I mean? We've seen this collective, we've seen them ebb and flow over the last few months, as I said earlier. And it feels like there's something new, some sort of new. This feels like an emotional new, though. It feels like something we've not seen before in this relationship. Now, I'm not quite sure what that'll be, so I can't wait for the clarifiers, because we seem to have seen it all, really, over the last few months. So that's going to be fascinating. I'm not being given any messages. Let me see if there's any clarity. Spirit, is there any clarity you want to give me? They've just said to me big changes. So there are some big changes here in this divine masculine karmic relationship. So that's going to be very interesting. It's something we've not seen yet. So let's see. They've just said the word agenda to me. So it feels like there's some sort of agenda going on between them. There's some sort of... I don't know whether this is a delusional energy. It feels kind of delusional, which is really strange, because when you see a merry motive, it sort of sounds like a positive agenda. It could well be a positive agenda, but it kind of feels like... it feels like there's an underhand energy behind this merry motive. So it may be that they're both behaving in a way that, you know, everything's fine, everything's hunky-dory, you know, this is how things are going to be, regardless of what this big change is that's coming. It's all for a purpose, it's all for a reason. Maybe that's what they're telling people. But it kind of feels like somebody here is being a bit underhand. So it's almost like it's a front. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of mask energy going on somewhere in that line. But let's see what comes up. Yeah, they're taking a step back. They're taking a deep breath. I hope you can see that clearly. It's a beautiful card. But yeah, they're taking some time out. They're taking a deep breath before whatever this situation is before it kicks in. Okay, so there's sort of like a holding energy at the moment. I think some changes are afoot. What I'm getting is that I feel there's some changes afoot that only the two of them know about. And I feel like they're not being totally honest with people about what is happening. And they're taking a deep breath before that information comes out. Because at the moment, they're just enjoying looking over everything. They're using their sort of wisdom. We have the owl here. I think it's an owl. Yeah, it looks like an owl to me. But I'm reading it as an owl and I'm reading it as wisdom. And I feel like they're using their wisdom to choose how to see things at the moment. And I don't mean that necessarily in deluded energy. I just feel like at the moment they feel like they're on top of things and they've got a good overview of what's going on and everything feels under control in the way that they're managing whatever this situation is. So this is fascinating. Let me have a look. I'm going to use the Energy Oracle because I haven't used those much. I didn't take them away with me while I was away. You will notice, by the way, that I'm home. I think I was home last weekend when we did the reading, actually. So I've lost complete track of where I'm at. Spirit, what can you tell us? How is the Divine Masculine feeling about Beyond the Ordinary, please? How is the Divine Masculine feeling about Beyond the Ordinary? Okay, we have envy here, so there's some sort of jealousy here. Why is he feeling jealous, please? I think we need another clarifier. Why do we have envy? Okay. There's maybe some envy around because he thinks that there are other options. And, you know, maybe he's seeing other people that are in happier circumstances and he's feeling jealous about it. He may be feeling jealous because he sees you as another option, Divine Femme, but he's worried that the longer he stays in this karmic relationship, the more chances that you're going to find somebody else. So there's definitely a jealousy energy coming from this. And well, it's a jealousy card, frankly, but you know, I feel it. I'm actually feeling it at the moment. And he's worried that you may have other opportunities, but I think he's also seeing other people around him that are happy in their relationships and with things moving forward. And that's making him feel jealous of people who've, you know, taken that step towards the person they want to be with. I'm going to pull a tarot. Can we stop a moment, Spirit, please? Because I want more clarity around Beyond the Ordinary. Why are you saying Beyond the Ordinary? What is the energy with Beyond the Ordinary, please? Okay, so someone is feeling not very good at all. And bear in mind that this centre line was the joint energy. We have, you know, Beyond the Ordinary, you would think was an exciting card, but I'm sort of feeling this is a change that's happening. And, you know, because maybe it's a change that's been needed because they've both felt quite trapped recently. But maybe they're realising that, the feeling of being trapped is of their own making. Because, as I always say, because I know this card has come up before in these readings, she has her hands tied, but they're not actually tied. There's no knots at all there. So it's about self-imprisonment in your mind. So maybe this is what they've been looking at this week. Maybe they've been looking at their unhappiness. Maybe they've finally been listening to I don't know if you can see it here. It looks really dark on camera today. There's a little bird up here. Can you see the little, I don't know. I don't know how to make it light. Ah, yeah, you can see it just there. There's a tiny little bird. And this little bird is trying to tell them something. And maybe this is what we're seeing. Maybe these are the changes they're making because maybe they finally listened to the little bird. Who knows? Maybe it's a little bird in their community that has been talking to the Divine Masculine and making him a bit grumpy. Oh dear. I've got to watch myself today because I am in one of those moods. Let's do the clarifiers for the center. Sorry, Spirit. Let's just do this because it'll help us to see the reaction of the Divine Masculine here. Why do we have a merry motive? What is behind this merry motive, please? What is behind this merry motive? Queen of Swords energy. Gosh, this is complex today. This is what I'm feeling from this is that I kind of feel like the karmic knows that there's somebody else in the picture. Now, in the past, we've seen that the Divine Masculine has seen the Divine Feminine in Queen of Swords energy, because he's almost like a bit intimidated by the Divine Feminine and his feelings for her, or feelings for you, I should say. Why I'm talking in the third person, I don't know. But it feels like she's here again. And it feels like, you know, when I said the Merry Motive card, it's almost like they're going ahead with something, but there's something underneath. There's something underhand or a bit devious. And I think it's the omnipresent Divine Feminine here. And I know this is odd because this isn't normally, I wouldn't look at this card and feel it's a Divine Feminine card, but I do know in several readings I've done recently, the Divine Masculine sees us very much in the Queen of Swords energy. And this is what has made him hesitant to step forward, because he's worried about how he'll be received. He's expecting to be dealt with. Lucky him, hey. But he's expecting to be dealt with by the Queen of Swords. You know? And he sees you as the Queen of Swords. But I also think that the karmic is picking up this Queen of Swords energy and knowing that the Divine Feminine is omnipresent in this relationship. So that's why I was picking up the underhand energy. Interesting. This is quite complex today. Let's do the others, please. Let's do a deep breath. Why do we have, thank you. Yeah, Hermit energy. So they're both taking time out. They're both taking time to breathe. They're both taking some sort of a step back because they know that they've got big things to face, big situations to deal with. And so they're going into Hermit energy, they're doing a lot of self-reflection, and they're just taking that time to breathe before they involve anybody else around them in this situation. So why do we have a higher view, please? Why do we have a higher view? Why do we have a higher view, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah. They're standing in their power at the moment. They may not have assessed this situation correctly because it could cause more upset than they thought. But by when I say standing in their power, I don't mean like in an emperor or empress way. I mean, you know, they have taken control of these daggers coming out of the fire here, which is causing a bit of chaos for some reason or upset to the people standing by. And it's almost like they know which path they're taking. They know that there are changes ahead. So they have stood back, taken this time out, and for this moment in time, they're just, you know, literally gathering their strength before they face the chaos, because, you know, they're standing in this energy here where they feel like they're temporarily in control of this situation before it causes chaos, or they have to deal with the reactions of people around them. Okay, so that's made that a little bit clearer in terms of joint energy. Let me pull another one for Beyond the Ordinary, because we know that, you know, there's unhappiness there. Yeah, we have 9 of Cups energy here. So it's almost like, you know, they're acknowledging that changes have to be made because they're feeling very unhappy, you know. they've been listening to this little bird here, and although they felt that they'd built up something that was going to last, they're now contemplating their future. So this is where the change comes in. And it is beyond the ordinary because they're doing it in a different way. It's in a quite a measured way. You know, we've seen them at stages before where they know they're going to separate. We know that 1 week the karmic is happy with it, 1 week she's not. And it's not gender specific. I just use he and she because, you know, that's what applies to my situation. So I just use that. But, you know, there's some weeks the karmic has been happy with the thought of separating, some weeks she hasn't, some weeks she's clung on, some weeks she hasn't, some weeks she's looked at other people. You know, it's been all over the place. But what's beyond the ordinary about this week is that they're both realising that they're not happy. They've been having some words of wisdom from this little bird person. I don't know who the little bird person is, but that's what they've been having. And although they felt that what they had was good, they're now contemplating their future. So let's carry on with the energy oracle for the divine masculine. Okay, what is this Queen of Swords energy doing here, please, with the merry motive for the divine masculine spirit? For the divine masculine, please. Which one? That one? Okay. Yeah, look. Look, look, look. I so love this. It's exciting. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we've already had the Queen of Swords. I talked about that a little while ago. He's always seen you. Not always seen you, because he also sees you as Queen of Cups and Empress, frankly. But, you know, not knowing how to approach you has all been about him seeing you in Queen of Swords energy. So he's now at a point where he wants to take action because he knows he's got other possibilities, but more importantly, he knows that you have too. My camera angle's not good, is it? But he knows that you have too. Can you see that? Yeah. I think we're okay at that angle. You know, so he knows that you've got choices, so he wants to take action. He's worried here. He may have even discussed this with the karmic, and that's why, you know, the divine feminine is not so hidden in this relationship anymore. Yeah, he's getting a lot of spiritual guidance. Look, we have Archangel Uriel here, you know, with the crown chakra, this beautiful crown. Look at this, how beautiful this is. And this is about being guided by spirit. So he is being guided to take action. Regardless of how scared he's feeling, he is being guided. Thank you, Spirit, for that. Seriously. They're just laughing, sorry. It's funny. Anyway, why do we have deep breath and hermit then, please? Why do we have deep breath and hermit? Stop laughing, really. Why do we have deep breath and hermit, please? Oh gosh, we're now playing games. Yeah, they need to take a deep breath and they need to take a step back in hermit mode because there's some healing still to be done for both of them. So, you know, we have the healer of the ages here who is sending them positive energy to heal their heart chakra here because, you know, they're in need of it. Frankly, they you know, entered into an arrangement that they thought was going to be good for them. They've both realised that it's not. They need to withdraw from, you know, the whole circus that is around them, you know, the sort of family, friends that are, you know, part of their network at the moment because they're doing a lot of reflecting and a lot of healing at the moment. Yeah, exactly. So they're doing a lot of reflecting because here we have Archangel Ariel, who is actually, I must stop saying actually, but this is about the sacral chakra. So this is about wishes and desires. It's also about sexuality. They're doing a lot of reflecting on, you know, why they've ended up in this situation, but more importantly, how they're going to move forward. What are their wishes and their desires as individuals at the moment? So it's a real healing time for them this week. And as I say, they know that something's in the pipeline. They know that things are changing, but they're not making that known publicly at the moment to their family and friends. So why do we have a higher view in the Five of Swords, please? Why do we have a higher view in the Five of Swords? For the Divine Masculine. Thank you. Yeah, he's trying to keep control of his situation, but it's causing him a lot of anxiety. He knows what he's got to face. He knows he's got the sort of backlash from, you know, the fallout of this relationship, and it's causing him sleepless nights. It's causing him a lot of anxiety. Some of you will be picking up the energy of your Divine Masculine at the moment. If you suddenly wake up and feel not like your normal self, or you feel particularly anxious, then that will it could be, I'm not saying it definitely is, because it's different for all of us, but I know that when I felt like that, when I don't understand where the anxiety is coming from in any given moment, and it's overwhelming, I know that it's usually the energy of my Divine Masculine that I am picking up, because you are one soul. So, you know, if he's feeling it in a major way, you're going to feel it, frankly. So, yeah, he wants to move forward. He wants to step forward into a loving relationship. He wants to open that door to romance. But, you know, getting there is going to be painful, because he's going to have to face some things that he doesn't want to face, you know. I'm going to put the romance on top of the anxiety card, because we want the anxiety to go. So it makes me feel better if I do it that way. So let's have a look at the Karmic and how the Karmic's feeling. I think we need to use a different deck, actually. Let's use the love. No, they're saying don't use those, use these. Okay. Let's see. So how's the Karmic feeling about Beyond the Ordinary, please? About that whole energy. Material harvest. So at the moment we have old behaviours coming up again by the looks of it. It looks like the Karmic is now worried about finance. She's worried about what she can get out of this situation for her own stability and her own protection. So, you know, she's undoubtedly upset about this situation. You know, and this is probably why the Divine Masculine is feeling envious of other people who aren't in his situation at the moment, because he's got himself in a bit of a fix, hasn't he? So this Karmic is actually basically seeing what she will come out of this situation with, because it's not the loving relationship that she hoped for. And yes, look, before we're too hard on her and before we slate her in the comments, do know that it's causing her a lot of stress as well, because, you know, she's looking towards the sun because she wanted a happy outcome, because she thought she was set up for life here. Okay, and there's been huge lessons for both of them in this relationship. So she is actually keeping her stressing and her suffering to herself, her upset to herself, on, you know, her emotional upset. And she's probably talking more and full of bravado, they've just said to me, regarding the material issue. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's saying, you know, to friends that if ever they split, she's going to take him for all he's got and all that sort of stuff. It's that sort of feeling about it. Let's see how she's feeling about the Queen of Swords. This is going to be interesting. So what's this merry motive that's going on, Spirit? And the Queen of Swords. Yeah, she's keeping her feet on the ground at the moment. We have base chakra here, so she's trying to stay very grounded about it all. they've just said to me action plan. So it's almost like she's plotting at the moment in her headspace and not allowing the emotion of that to affect her. But let's see if there's another card here. Yeah, she's feeling very alone, look. Because it's almost like she knows that the divine feminine is here, you know. She's known all along. For some of them, they've known all along. But they've ignored it because they felt they had a lot of power over the divine masculine. But they know that now he's in the mindset to take action towards his divine feminine, and that's making them feel very alone. So they're trying to keep their feet, the karmic is trying to keep their feet on the ground at the moment, and, you know, trying to just cope day to day and not let the emotion of this situation get to them at the moment. Again, it's this bravado energy that we're seeing further up. So why do we have hermit energy and deep breath for the karmic, please? Why do we have hermit and deep breath, please? Yeah, this is what I said. She's very grounded at the moment, or at least trying to be. So, you know, she's standing her ground, you know, standing up for herself. She's taking time out. She's reflecting. She's trying to be very strong, you know, and she is still hoping for a good outcome here. But she is... yeah, standing her ground emotionally. So we have the beginning of love here. So, you know, maybe there's still a bit of her as she reflects. Maybe she's reflecting about how things were between her and the divine masculine. But I do tend to feel that she's sort of, there's a little bit of her that still hopes that this can work out. And that if she just stands her ground, that, you know, the divine masculine will fall back in love with her or whatever. You know, it's that bit of hope, I think, that is still there. Because she does have feelings for him. If she didn't have feelings for him, she wouldn't be suffering in silence. Do we need this card, please? We do. They're one step ahead of me. Yeah, she's hoping that, you know, they're going to be able to talk things through. You know, we have triumphant success here. But she thinks that when things become a lot clearer, and there feels like a waiting energy here, but when she feels that when things become a lot clearer, because this reminds me of the swords cards in tarot, that, you know, things will become a lot more successful and, you know, it will all fall into place. And that's why she's standing her ground a bit at the moment, even though she knows that the divine masculine has a different plan. So why do we have Five of Swords and Higher View, please? Why do we have Five of Swords and Higher View? Why do we have... Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Do you want me to take that one? Okay. So... they're gathering their strength, they're taking spiritual guidance, and, you know, look at how this fits. We've already had the owl here, and now we have a card of wisdom. I think I said wisdom earlier. So they're basically, at the moment, just recouping their energy. They are keeping it to themselves before other people begin to get involved. And, you know... they need that. They need to build that spiritual strength. What did we have here? We had anxiety. Yeah. It may be that, you know, in order to cope with their anxiety levels, because we know the karmic is suffering in silence. We know that the divine masculine is very anxious about facing this situation and moving towards his true love. We know that he's anxious about that. So, you know, they're receiving a lot of spiritual guidance at the moment. And, you know, they're trying to gather their strength from that, basically. I've got all my cards in the wrong order. What am I doing? So, you know, some of that applies to the divine masculine. I know we were looking at the divine... gosh, get your act together, SJ, seriously. Karmic row. I know we're concentrating on that, but the very fact they've messed up my words shows me that also applies to the divine masculine. You know, the spirit are working with both the karmic and the divine masculine with this set of circumstances. And do you remember, for those of you that have followed the channel for a while, a couple of months ago, in the early days of the channel, I used to always come out with this phrase, damage limitation. Because the divine masculine always wanted to sort out this situation. He's known for a long time that this isn't working, and he's wanted to sort it out, but by not hurting anybody. And, you know, that's why he's still there, because he's not taking those steps, because he's really worried about the fallout. But, you know, now Spirit are giving him the wisdom and giving, these are karmic cards, so that, you know, they're both being given the wisdom at the moment to deal with this situation. And this is why Spirit have encouraged them to take a deep breath and this step back. So what interests me is these two houses here. Spirit are given, because we're looking at the karmic. I'm going to stay with the karmic now. They keep pulling me back towards divine masculine. So I think this is very much joint energy that we're seeing here. You know, I think that the karmic is feeling, if I'm looking at it totally in karmic terms, I think the karmic is feeling that there's still a bit of game playing here from her perspective. I think she's feeling that she's got the wisdom to hold her ground and see how things transpire, because she's still got dreams of her happy home with the divine masculine. So, you know, there's still that part of her that's hanging in there. And, you know, it may well be that the karmic is asking for extra spiritual guidance at the moment. But equally, we know that Spirit are working with the divine masculine and have been doing so for the past several months. So, yeah, it's almost like news is about to break and go very public. And that seems to be the message of this reading, folks, that news, whatever it is, it will be different for all of you, but that news is coming. Let me just grab the Moonology, because I'd like to do a couple of Moonology. Thank you. We haven't asked who this is for. Who's this for, please, Spirit? Okay, so we have you and your loved ones are safe. Initially, I felt that I'd come out with divine masculine energy, but Spirit are saying they want you to believe, they want me to take all three of these, so let's have a look at them. But they want you to believe, divine femmes, that things will work out. So regardless of the fallout from this situation, I don't get the feeling that you are going to be dragged into the middle of it. I feel in a way Spirit are working with the karmic and the divine masculine to sort things out in such a way that it ends in a peaceful manner, so that it protects you and protects them, obviously, not just you, but this is the message for you. And we know that there's a fiery climax approaching. We know that once this information goes public, there's going to be friends and family that aren't at all happy about it. Isn't it funny how friends and family can sometimes get involved in stuff that doesn't concern them? But there we are. Anyway, and they're saying, look, it's time to give rather than take. So at the moment, divine femmes, you know, it's not a time to actually expect things from your divine masculine. He's got enough on his plate at the moment. He's already anxious. And I know that we're anxious, but at the moment, the best we can do as divine feminines is to give loving energy, okay? Because the more loving energy we give, the more it will help to heal your masculine, or our masculines, okay? So, I don't normally take 3 cards, but in a karmic reading I do, because we're dealing with an eternal, it's not eternal, but we're dealing with a triangle at the moment. So, okay, I hope you enjoyed that reading. It looks like, as I say, changes are afoot. It looks like the news is about to break. So hold on to your hats, Divine Femmes. You might well hear about this very, very soon. And as always, if you enjoyed the reading, please tick the like. Please remember to subscribe and click the notification bell so you get the other readings. I will do messages from Divine Masculine at some point this week. I have a lot of birth sign, work and career and love readings to do this week as well. So there's going to be lots of readings out from me this week. So yeah. Watch this space, folks. But yeah, join our happy flock. Do you know, we're nearly at 2,000 subscribers. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? Fantastic. Anyway, speak to you all soon. Have a beautiful Sunday, wherever you are. And yeah, love and light, everybody. Take care. Bye.